Welcome to Detroit. Doesn't matter if you have one ass cheek and 3 toes. I will beat your ass. You can drown them. And that's what we gotta be. That's who we have to be. Because that's our domain. That is our domain. Because we'll tread water as long as it takes to fucking bury you.
Takes the snap, turns, gives to Montgomery, right side, end zone, touchdown, Detroit Lions! Yes.
We are driven by Detroit.
Hello, Detroit Lions friends, fans, and family members. Welcome on back to yet another episode of MCM Motor City Mania. I'm your host, David T. Pike, and as always, we're diving on in. So, folks, just gonna say this right now. The NFL has, they've stirred up a hornet's nest. They have absolutely stirred up a massive hornet's nest. Because I'm going to say this. The loss against the Chiefs that the Lions had to endure, it is a bitter pill to try to swallow. Especially considering the fact that that pill has absolutely been laced with crap. And, you know, the NFL has blatantly been once again proven that they cheated to help the Chiefs, you know, get the victory, to do everything they could to get the Chiefs back to 500. There's no two ways around it. There have been plenty of people that have already taken a look at it. There are people that they've looked at the fact that, you know, there were plenty of things that were not called that should have been called against the Chiefs. I mean, I don't care if you don't like the Lions or not. I don't care if you think that, you know, the NFL is trying to cover its tracks or not. The point of the matter is that the Chiefs got absolutely a humongous amount of calls that did not go against them, that should have gone against them, that helped them win. And the NFL absolutely served its greedy corporate interest of finance that, you know, they absolutely completely spurned the Detroit Lions. And the problem is that the NFL, even though they don't care, they should care. They should care 110% about what they did on Sunday night against the Detroit Lions. Because I'm going to tell you this. The NFL should know that the one team above all else you should not spurn is the Detroit Lions. Because there is one team above all else you should fear when you spurn them. And that is the Detroit Lions. And now that everybody's taking a look exactly at what happened on Sunday night, and there are all these people that are like, oh yeah, you know what? This should have been called. That should have been called. The Chiefs got away with this. The Chiefs got away with that. It's like, listen, there's no way that a team that went and had 13 penalties against the Jacksonville Jaguars all of a sudden comes out the very next week and has absolutely no penalties, and the NFL, in essence, by doing that, saying that, oh yeah, well, the Chiefs were squeaky clean. It's like, no, dude, like, come on now. Everybody that's looked at that game is like, no. The Chiefs should have gotten a bunch of calls that were not called. The Chiefs should have absolutely been called for penalties, and now everybody's looking at it, and it's like, once again, this is the perfect example that the NFL is all about serving their corporate interests. And once again, they pretty much made the Lions the sacrificial lambs, if you will, to say, oh yeah, you know what? We're more interested about making sure that the team that we are interested as being the corporate image of the NFL, they're protected. But the Detroit Lions, no. We're going to continue to, you know, take advantage of them because we don't care. The problem is the NFL should care. Because I'm going to tell you this right now. If there's one team in the NFL that has been spurned for most of its history in the NFL, it is definitely the Detroit Lions. The only thing that I will say is that for most of the Lions' history, while they have been spurned by the NFL, is that up until recently, the Lions did not have the backbone, they didn't have the culture, or the resolve to try and, to try and fight the fat tiger of the NFL and to clap back at them. Now, what do I mean by that? I'm not saying, like, taking the NFL to court or doing something like that. No, what I mean by clapping back is saying, okay, we realize what happened here, and we're going to fight you the only way we know we can, that we can win. And exactly the way that is going to happen is that the NFL has now absolutely awoken a beast in the Detroit Lions that is going to absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, going to take the whole process of saying, okay, if this is how you are going to act, if this is how you're going to behave, if this is what you're going to do to make sure that your cash cow, that your interest of revenue is protected by, making sure that a team that you want to say is all that in a bucket of chicken, when everybody and their brother knows that they're not, and you're going to somehow, some way say that, they played a clean game, that they didn't do anything wrong, that the NFL is saying that, they're all that. The Lions are going to make it their business to unmercifully beat the NFL's ass over the remainder of the season by saying, okay, we get what you did, we know what you did, and you know what? While we can't change what happened Sunday night against the Chiefs, what we can change and what we will change is every other team that we play for the rest of the year. And I'm telling you this right now, there's a phrase that everybody knows when it comes to women: hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. Well, I'm going to put this one to you. Hell hath no fury like the Lions spurned. Not nearly as catchy, but the point of the matter is that the Lions are one of those teams you don't want to spurn them. You do not want to look down on them with contempt, because the Lions, they have earned every ounce of respect that they have gotten over the last couple of years by being the team that they are. They have won tough victories. They have made sure that, hey, you may not like us, but you damn well will respect us. And they have had to claw ferociously for every ounce of respect that they have earned. And they've deserved it. But I'm telling you this right now, with the NFL deciding that the status quo of, the Chiefs being the team that they want to invest in, the Chiefs being the team that they want to make sure is on this protected pedestal, and that's more important than the integrity of the game, they have spurned the Lions into now the greatest enemy that they could possibly have. And I'm going to tell you this right now, the Lions as an enemy, this is an enemy that is absolutely stacked with weapons from here to Timbuktu, and it's armed to the teeth with players who have now an invested personal vendetta to destroy the corrupt NFL over the remaining, course of the season. And I'm going to tell you exactly how and why the NFL is going to see this come to life. There are three things that, in my opinion, are going to make the Lions a team that, the rest of the NFL is not going to want to deal with. Here's the first thing that they're not going to want to deal with: Jared Goff. I'm going to tell you this right now. Everybody can, continue to try to poo-poo on Jared Goff and, say that he's a byproduct or this, that, everything. But it's like, dude, Jared Goff has been in the NFL, what now? Going on 9 years, and in 9 years or 8 years, whatever the hell it is, he's had 7 different offensive coordinators. And Jared Goff has continued to be successful every stinking year virtually. Well, here's the funny part. In Jared Goff's season so far this year, Jared Goff has the number 1 completion percentage rate out of every quarterback. He has the 9th most passing yards. He's tied 6th in terms of pass average per throw. He's ranked number 1 in passing touchdowns, number 1 in pass touchdown percentage rate per throw. He's tied 4th in interceptions given up. He's tied 6th in interception percentage rate per throw. He's tied 2nd in passer rating, and he's ranked 2nd in passer rating, and he's ranked 5th in QBR. Now, why is that important to know? Well, here's the thing. I've already made the statement that the one quarterback in the NFL currently right now that I look at and see very much akin playing the way it is right now to back when Peyton Manning was around is Jared Goff. And the reason I can say that is because, one, not only does Jared Goff play the game the same way that Peyton Manning did as far as beating you with his brain, but let's think about this. Go back to when Peyton Manning was in the league in 2013, and you take a look at how the Lions' offense is very similar to, the Broncos as far as their ability to score points, the best NFL offense that there is, blah, 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 blah. Well, take a look at Manning's stats from 2013, and you then will get a very interesting comparative analysis to where Jared Goff's stats are right now. Through the first 6 games that Peyton Manning played in 2013, Peyton Manning was at 74.2 percentage rate as far as completion percentage. He had almost 2,200 passing yards, 9.1 an average a throw, 22 passing touchdowns, 9.2 touchdown percentage rate per throw, 2 interceptions for his .08 interception rate percentage rate per throw, and a 128.8 passer rating. You want to know what's really similar there? Jared Goff has a better completion percentage rate than Peyton Manning had in 2013. The same amount of interceptions, a similar interception rate percentage per throw, and a similar passer rating for the quarterback. The only thing that Peyton Manning absolutely is better than in terms of Jared Goff is the yards and the passing touchdowns and the passing average. Which obviously, considering the fact that Peyton Manning just absolutely threw the ball like nobody else as far as volume, that would make sense. But the efficiency at which Goff is playing is very similar to a guy who has been to 4 Super Bowls, won 2 of them, and it's like, that was why John Elway wanted to bring in Peyton Manning, is because he knew that he was going to get a guy that was going to elevate that team to being a Super Bowl caliber team. And again, let's understand something here. The Broncos went to 2 Super Bowls with Peyton Manning at the helm. Now, granted, obviously the one that they won, that was more because of the defense. But you don't do that unless you've got a guy like Peyton Manning in the fold in the first place. Well, Peyton Manning did that at the tail end of his career. Jared Goff is in his prime right now, and he's playing at that level. So think about that, if you will. Goff is the best quarterback in the NFL statistically. He may not be the best quarterback in the NFL talent-wise or in terms of physical prowess, but he is the best quarterback in the NFL statistically and in terms of the command and control of which he operates the Lions' offense. And as long as Goff is out there playing at the height of the quarterback performance that he's playing, and the offense remains healthy, which the offense has been, remarkably healthy over the last couple of years, this team will continue to be a massive threat to whatever team, whatever defense it faces. That's not going to change. And when you consider the weapons that Goff has at his disposal, which is Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jameson Williams, Sam Laporta, Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery. The offensive line is playing at a really high level. You still got a pretty good offensive scheme that you're part and parcel to creating that John Morton is calling. This offense, with Jared Goff leading it, is going to be able to take advantage of all those other offensive weapons and continue to be a massive problem for whatever team they face. So that's reason number 1, how and why the NFL is going to regret spurning the Detroit Lions. Reason number 2, kind of continuing on with the whole offense of the Detroit Lions, is the rushing game. I'm going to tell you this right now. The one thing you want to have on offense that really is going to help you, establish whatever type of dominance you want is a solid, good, damn rushing game. And I'm going to tell you this right now. when it comes to Sonic and Knuckles, there is no NFL running back tandem that is better than those two. And I'm also going to tell you this. Those two, Sonic and Knuckles, I believe are about to go on a tear as we officially move into the second half of the year. Because we're already 1/3 of the way through the year. There's 17 games in the season. The Lions have already played 6 of them. So we're past the third waypoint of the season. We're now moving into the second half of the year. Well, when you consider the fact that the Lions want to have the ball ran, they want to establish an offensive dominance by running the ball, they're going to, as a running back tandem, make teams cry for bloody mercy as a unit. And they almost always get going offensively. There's only a couple of games I can think of where those two just simply have not been able to get the running game going. And that's not necessarily because of their talent. That's because other things factor in as to why they can or cannot get things going. Maybe it's because the offensive line is just not having a good game. Maybe it's because the defense is selling out to stop the run. Whatever have you. But almost always those two get that running game going. And when they do, it is nearly impossible to slow them down, let alone try and stop them. And you have to think about it. With Taylor Decker set to return soon, whether it's this week against the Bucks that we've got coming up, or after the bye week, which means he should be pretty damn healthy by then, because he hasn't played at that point if he comes back after the bye week for 3 or 4 weeks. So he'll have had almost a whole month for his shoulder to have calmed down. With Decker coming back, the offense continuing to do what it does, that should set the Lions' rushing attack with, Sonic and Knuckles to be going into the second half of the season with, number one, fresh legs, but also a determined sense of willpower, if you will, to run over and around defenses and be such an absolute thorn in the side of those defenses. Because let's think about it. Most defenses so far that have faced against us, they have absolutely damn near tried to sell out every single week to make sure that they stop Sonic and Knuckles. Well, one of two things typically happens. Either the Lions still run the ball down their throat, or if they can't get the rushing game going to the way that they want to, we still then slice and dice them through the air. Other than the Packers game, and I would say the Browns game, which the Browns are one of the best defenses in the NFL, Jared Goff has pretty much been able to do whatever the John Brown hell he's wanted to do as far as a quarterback is concerned. And realistically, the Packers game, everyone wants to say that the Packers beat us. Yeah, they beat us, but they didn't beat us because their offense was bad. We just hadn't figured stuff out yet. If we were to put that now into practice right now, completely different set of circumstances. Absolutely completely different set of circumstances. So I'm telling you this, with Goff leading the offensive rushing attack absolutely going to be a thorn that teams are going to try their absolute best to stop. There's not going to be a whole lot of options that NFL defenses are going to be able to use to slow down our offense. It's like, listen, pick your poison. One way or the other, we're going to get you. If you try to stop the rushing attack, Goff will carve you through the air. And if you try to stop Goff, we'll just run the ball down or around you. It's just going to happen. Which then brings me to the third reason that why the NFL spurned the Detroit Lions is going to have massive repercussions for them in the second half of this year. It's called the injuries that we have right now. We're about to get them back. The injuries are getting healthy. Think about it. McNeil is going to come back this week against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That's already been pretty much announced everywhere. The Lions sat him out against the Chiefs, even though he was a full participant in practice all throughout the week. They already pretty much stated that they were expecting him to come back for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers game, which is right on track with the expedited kind of timetable that they had for him coming back, which was mid to late October. So you get back McNeil and you add him to that defense. Okay, that's a massive boost. Then, with the bye week coming up after that, you're going to get Reed and Arnold, or one or the other of them, back. So that's going to add even further help to the defense, because now you're going to have a replenishment of a defensive playmaker in the defensive secondary chances are it'll probably be Reed over Arnold, but if we get both of them back after the bye week, that would be absolutely spectacular. So, okay, now your defensive secondary is getting reinforcements. Then you have to think about this. You've also got guys like Davenport and Rodrigo who are going to return shortly. Rodrigo's probably not going to come back until about November, like the beginning of November, mid of November. But when he comes back, he's going to add even more help to that freaking linebacker room that the Lions have, which has absolutely been playing stellar. And Davenport, when he comes back, he's going to be able to add to the rotation that the Lions have on the edge. Now, I'm going to say this. I don't know what kind of impact Davenport's going to have, especially with Muhammad, energizing the Detroit Lions' defensive, edge rushing capabilities. But you have to think about it. If you have Muhammad and you have Hutch and then you add Davenport when he's healthy and back into the fold, you've now got a pretty good rushing tandem. You've got a pretty good rushing rotation. And that's not even including when we get Ahmed Hazanin back from injury, because the Lions have already stated he's going to play for them at some point this year. We just don't know when. But we know it's going to happen. So that's another guy that we can look forward to coming back. And then, on top of that, the guys that we haven't seen that will come back, that's going to help. But then, with the bye week coming up, the guys that have been playing hurt already, they're going to get a chance to mend, and they're going to get a chance to get better or fully healthy. Guys like Decker, Kirby, Branch, etc. So, think about that. Almost everybody I just mentioned is a defensive playmaker of some type. And they're either going to get healthy or they're going to get healthier. So think about that. This defense is about to come out of the break, the second half break after the bye week, and they're going to be at damn near full strength. And they're going to be at damn near full strength at just the right time. And they're going to have the exact right attitude paired with the offense to say, okay, NFL, you wanted to spurn us. You wanted to protect your corporate interests. You wanted to protect your corporate image. You wanted to make sure that you had your cash cow flowing rather than the integrity of the game. Okay, now it's time for us, fully healthy, to come out and put an absolute hurting on everybody else that you've put in our way. That's why my thumbnail image has the absolute, message that it does. A gauntlet has been thrown down. And the Lions are going to pick up that gauntlet and they are going to absolutely take it and just destroy the NFL with it. They are going to come out and want to, I'm going to say this, damn near bloody murder people. It's going to happen. And when you've got guys coming back healthy, you've got one of, if not the best offense in the NFL as far as all the weapons, the best statistical quarterback, you have an absolute recipe for disaster that the NFL, they might know about it, but they sure as hell didn't respect it. They thought that, hey, you know what? So long as we keep the Chiefs going, we don't have to worry about anything. Wrong-o. You're now going to have to worry about the Detroit Lions the entire rest of the season. And the Lions are one team you definitely don't want to try and worry about, because all that's going to do is mean that you're going to have one eye constantly looking out every side that you have your head on a swivel, because the Lions are coming for you and they are going to get theirs. It's going to happen. But anyway, folks, I've said my piece. So I'm going to end this episode and say thank you all for watching yet another episode of MCM Motor City Mania. If you like what you saw, by all means, I highly encourage y'all to watch the next episode. Also encourage y'all to do one of these free things, like, comment, and subscribe. If by chance you subscribed in the past and you forgot to do so at the time, or you just subscribed and you'd not yet had a chance to do so, I want to encourage y'all, please, make sure you hit that bell notification icon so you guys never miss any more content I push out. Hope y'all are doing well. Hope y'all got something in your life that makes you happy, makes you smile. God bless, my friends, and until the next time we meet, I'll see you all in the next episode.